Hi, Sue here from Mystic Matters. Hope you're doing well today. This episode of Exploring Popular Opinion, I'm going to look at the energy behind spirituality. There are many different... Spirituality is something that's often, seems to be kind of three schools of thought. There's religion, there's atheism, and there's spirituality. There might be other things as well, but those are the three main ones. And when we're talking about spirituality, then, you know, some view it as a bit of a fluffy thing that spiritual people kind of imagine floating around and with their thoughts up in the clouds and not being as kind of strong, maybe as somebody who is either religious or doesn't believe anything at all. So people have got to believe in something, even if it's just they believe in themselves. But so I'm going to look at the energy behind spirituality, because in some aspects it's also become a bit of a business as well. So I'm going to have a look. Again, this is not my opinion. This is just purely reading what the cards are saying. Okay, we're starting off here. Spirituality. You get small rewards for the efforts you make. There's lots of hard work ahead. So spirituality isn't fluffy. It takes a lot of faith and to believe something that, you know, or that you can't necessarily see. So it does take a lot of faith and it's like inching forward. It's like you can't see many steps ahead of you. You're asked to look at the step ahead, and then once you've made that kind of leap of faith, then there's a next step, then there's a next step. You can't see too far in advance with it, because it's also tied into intuition and things like that. So here we have small rewards for efforts you're making, but you know, and there's always hard work. You know that nobody ever quite gets there, because there's always more to learn, more to discover. What's crossing it is like, this is Justice card, and it's well-balanced thought and judgment. And this is kind of, in some ways, the antithesis of intuition. It's like, well, I feel to do this, but logically, why on earth would I do that? It doesn't make sense. And spirituality, you don't get so much of a roadmap. I know with religions, you get a roadmap. This is, you do this, you don't do that. I mean, I'm not an expert on all religions, but a lot of them are based on following the rules of the church and believing the things that are put forward to you, either through the Bible or the different belief systems of the different churches and religions. But with spirituality, it's much more feeling your way forward and trusting in the universe to guide you. And it's sometimes not logical, but if you take that leap of faith, suddenly things start to fall into place. You say, oh, now I know. But often you don't know ahead of time. Spirituality brings many opportunities, and it's up to us to decide what our priorities are, but not to grab everything that's offered, because there are many things that come under the guise of spirituality, and they aren't necessarily so, because there are some people that make spirituality into a business, and then it becomes about the financial gain. So you'll have courses, you'll have guidance and things which actually can take us off the path. So it's making sure we're in tune with ourselves and we don't kind of grab everything on offer. We need to be discerning about our spiritual journey, and the only way to do that is to tune into ourselves, because we're the only people who know if it feels right or not. What's right for one person isn't necessarily right for another. It's also a case that there could be some really, really good spiritual teachers, but you just don't resonate with them. And in that case, find one that you do resonate with, or trust your own guidance if you are able to do that without thinking it's just your imagination. This is what I was getting at here. There's a lot of false spirituality out there. It's all about the money. It's about getting more than you've had before. So there's that element to it. But also our motivation, it doesn't have to be, this is about money, but we can look at the energy of it as well. If you follow a spiritual path, you can also gain much more than you've had before. So this can be taken either way. So it's either the people that are really following a spiritual path in order to heighten their own level of consciousness. And it's also the people who look at spirituality as a way of getting money and maybe not being as authentic and spiritual as they might be. Spirituality comes from a place of love and compassion. It's about helping other people. This is what the energy about it is really about, being the best that we can be, and by lending a helping hand wherever we can. And that's the open-heartedness of the spirit of spirituality. It's always looking for the best, following our inner guidance rather than our intellect, because when we get into the head, we get into ego, and that sometimes can take us off the purely spiritual path. So that's where spirituality is based in. It comes from a place of love. In the near future, it's like, and this is interesting, I think spirituality, the way we know it, where we've got to so far with it, we are going to realize that we've done everything we possibly can, and it's time to walk away and begin again if necessary. So it feels as though spirituality is going to have a revamp, and it will sort out the whole, I hate saying business, but a lot of it is a business. It's become a business. But the things that we've been led to believe, and I don't say that thinking that people are intentionally trying to deceive. That's not what I'm trying to say. But it's like what a teacher teaches somebody in kindergarten is very different from what is taught in university. And it feels as though the spirituality that we've been embracing and has helped many of us along the way, it's now being revamped, and we're being asked to up our level, to walk away from the things that we previously believed and start to look with fresh eyes. Where is spirituality taking us now? Because this is coming up in the near future. I need to walk away from certain belief systems and I'm being told to go back to the pureness of where it started from, the love, compassion, and helping other people without judgments, without, because people aren't like us, not judging them for that. That unconditional love, we need to take it back to where it started. And I think it's been molded and manipulated in order to fit human beings. That's not what spirituality is about. It's not about the human perception of it. It's about purely love and compassion for others. And so all the things that we've built up, what I'm being shown is like, you've got a big we've got golden light, and it's coming in, and there's something, it looks a bit like a shanty town with all these different buildings, and all these different buildings are all different aspects of what people think spirituality is. But they're all run down, they're all old, they've got, their windows are broken in, chimneys have fallen off, and it's really ramshackle. And what I'm seeing is that golden light coming in and just flying through and knocking down all these buildings and raising them to the ground, so we can start again and we can reassess what it is, because it's gone into so many different roads, and there's lots of judgment that goes on within, not with everybody. Some people are just purely spiritual and big-hearted, but it has become a lot to do with business as well. So that's all going to be wiped away, and we're going to be asked to look at it from a different perspective. There will be obstacles, and needing to see what our goals are, and what are our goals. Are we going to look at spirituality as something that's life enhancing, or are we going to look at it as something that also enhances the life of others as well? What's our aim with it? Is it going to be something that we make money from, or is it going to be something we do for free? I've been told that's not a consideration. It's just who we have to be. Spirituality and spiritual is who we have to be, because that's who we are from the core. We're not material beings. We're living in a material world, but first and foremost, we're spiritual. And we came down here in order to help humanity, and many people do, and many people have forgotten that they're spiritual first and foremost. So this is going back to being the spiritual. So the obstacles are the material lives that we've built, that in the age we're in, a lot in the Western world as well, when success is judged by how many material things you have, or the things you do, or the people who have who are the most beautiful or the fittest, and it's so the world we're living in is it's so material. It's so based on appearance and wealth, and appearance in all its forms, that we've gone away from the spiritual. The spiritual doesn't say you have to walk around begging in rags. That's not it. It's knowing that you're looked after, and all the other stuff is just it's not that important. Can't take it with you. The only thing that we can take with us is our characters, our personalities, the essence of who we are, the spiritual beings that we are. Those are the only things that we can take with us. All the material stuff is gone. All the, and that's what the obstacles are. It's like being able to happily walk away from material things if we're asked to, before it's time for us to pass on, and we have to relinquish it anyway. So it's not tying spirituality up with material beings, material objects, because that creates an obstacle. And as I said, it's not saying we've all got to be poor, and it's not saying that people can't be rich and spiritual, but it's the attachment to the wealth which is the issue. It's not the wealth itself. It's our attachment to how we look. It's not how we look. Actually, that's the issue. It's the attachment to it. Those are the obstacles that stand in the way of us reaching our goal to being truly spiritual and looking at the things that are everlasting and that will continue on and will upgrade our souls, put it that way. What people notice is that spirituality is also a vision, and it's something that we need to really hold on very tightly to, because it's not something that everybody believes. Many human beings, they believe in a God outside of themselves that you have to appease, or it can be a joyful God, it can be a God that is fire and brimstone. There's different people have different belief systems, and I'm not. This isn't a judgment on any of that, because everybody has their own purpose and everybody has their own life journey, and it's all a process. And many religious people are also very spiritual, so it's not kind of a compartmentalized thing, but everybody has a vision, and that's what's being seen. Everybody has an idea and holding fast to that. So this is what's being seen, that people are identifying more with either being spiritual, not believing any of it, or being purely religious and following the dictates of their particular church, the different denominations, different religions. And that's what makes life interesting. We're all very different. But it's holding the vision of what is best for the world. How can we best serve ourselves and others? Hopes and fears. Now, this is, excuse me, must have a mouthful, I'm getting a bit dry. All this talk about spirituality. Okay, this is in the hopes and fears position. And the Wheel of Fortune is about ideas coming in and things happening out of the blue. And this really tests spirituality and how flexible we are. Because to be truly spiritual, you need to be very, very flexible, because there aren't any hard and fast rules to it. And so people that are truly spiritual are able to adapt because whatever comes their way, they're able to make something of it. It's like you give them lemons, you make lemonade. It's that kind of analogy. So the people that aren't very spiritual and are very tied to like material things, or they're very tied to a specific, again, a specific religion that has lots and lots of rules and regulations that you can't go away from those. You can't transgress in any way. This is concerning to people who have that belief system. It's also, it can be a bit concerning maybe to people that don't believe in anything, because if things come their way that get them to question, they might not want to question because they don't want to fall into any other category. So there's a resistance. So it's quite an interesting card for this position. It's like, so it's saying the energy behind spirituality is to do with love, being prepared to walk away from material things if you are asked to, or if it's indicated in that way, and also to be open to change and to go with the flow, to just see where life takes you, rather than having a rigid idea or a specific path that you won't deviate from. So spirituality does demand flexibility. At the end of the day, where you get, if you do live a purely spiritual life with love and compassion, helping other people where you can, you get to a place of peace and tranquility. You feel your dreams about to come to fruition, and you know that, you know where your heart lies. There's a clarity that comes with spirituality, a deeper knowing of ourselves, warts and all. We get to know ourselves a lot better, and we find we don't need as much either, because we understand everything's transitory. Comes today, is gone tomorrow. The only thing that is constant is our soul and who we are on an inner level. So that is what spirituality is. It's a lot of hard work. It's not easy. This is quite a bit of it is taming the ego, I suppose, but it does come from love and compassion. And if we follow a selfless journey, by the time we come to the end, we will have this peace and tranquility that is hard to get any other way. So there you go. That's the energy behind spirituality. Not fluffy at all. Okay, bye for now. Hope to see you again. Bye.